Hello and welcome, creatives. Happy Friday. We are live from the shop where today, as promised, we are making the Winter Grapevine Deer Wreath. So what does that mean? Well, it's basically going to be a more natural looking wreath. It's not going to be reminiscent of Christmas, which means that this is a perfect wreath to leave up for Christmas and then all the way through Easter. This sign is this 8 by 10. Let me make sure. Yes, 8 by 10 sign. This is from Jane's at Jane's Front Door Decor. She is on Etsy. If you like the sign, that's where you can pick this up. So this is the inspiration for tonight. And so just a lot of evergreen, a little bit of the red holly berries. We'll put a very simple bow on it. I've already cleaned my grapevine, which is amazing because there are some wreath makers who don't clean their grapevines, and it just makes the process so much easier when you're inserting your picks. You know right where placement's going to go because you're not having to fight leaves, debris, broken twigs. Plus, it leaves a really nice finish if you do both sides, because you're going to ensure that the customer's door is going to be well protected. So with this particular design, I was playing with how it's going to go. It's got a lot of really thick branches on this one. So I'm just flipping it, trying to figure out. I had it figured out which way I was going to go. I wanted the bottom and the top tucked in. I think was it that? I think it's going to go like this. So I'm going to try to get it centered so that there is a physical touch point on each side for us to secure it with floral wire. So we're going to attach the sign first. But before we do that, I want to welcome those of you that are joining us for the very first time. I'd like to say hi and let us know where you're from. We would definitely like to welcome you. Members of my private group, feel free. You're going to I'm sorry. And let us know where. I hate when it does that. Members of the private group, feel free to interject and help answer questions as they pop up.
Hi gals, happy Friday.
So this is an 18-inch grapevine. I got this from Michael's. I generally will buy all my grapevines in bulk, like whenever you get a really good deal. I think when I bought these were like $4.99. So I bought them, I think they came in quantities of 5. So I had these available when I was ready. And it just gives me a stock to always have on hand. So that's an option for you. Okay. Hi, it looks like Gary and Tina, is it Unsworth? She says hello to both of you. I'm still trying to get it was weird. It was there, and then it was gone, and here it is. Ta-da! Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the plastic from our sign. We'll go ahead and take this off. We'll wire this in. And then we'll be good to go. Just make it so much easier to do it this way. And then we're going to basically put it in the corners. So just like that. So we have a touch point, corner here, corner, corner, and corner. That way it'll create stability on all 4 sides. So one small hole using our Beadsmith 1.5 millimeter metal hole punch pliers. We don't have to worry about like how far in are you going because we're going into a metal sign. I'm just popping one in the very end of the corners, and then I'll go ahead and put my floral wire in, get this all ready to go. I find that attaching the sign helps because then you know where you can go ahead and place items, where do you need to cover, you know, or make sure you're not covering where your sign's going to go anyway, and then you can't see that. So I'm probably cutting off way more wire than I should because I'm just going through grapevine and not deco mesh, and it's only going to go a very small area. So right in here, Remember, we always like to build it from the back so that it lays the same way we want it to be. So about 5 twists. We'll give it a nice little base. Do it here. Right over here. Okay. Yeah, these are definitely way too big, but I'll just trim them up once I get them on the inside. There we go. It's odd for me to use this much floral wire to attach the sign, but it's going in the center, and this is a little bit bigger than generally what I use. Usually I'll use like a 10-inch round, but I just happened to have this, and I was like, oh, this is so pretty. This is just perfect for winter.
We've got a couple gals from close to Delaware or Maryland.
Hi, welcome.
Said, hi from Maryland. It's absolutely gorgeous out. That's what Lori said. Hi from Delaware. Beautiful night. It's beautiful here too. Thank you, Anna, for sending 200 stars. That's awesome.
Thank you, Anna. So our stars money for the month of October is all going to support families at Thanksgiving. So the stars is those little, right next to your comment line, you may see a little star indicator. Each star is worth 1 cent, so you guys can definitely help contribute to that. And that's exactly what we're doing and what others are doing by participating in that. So I'm trying to get these all lined up. So I'm going to start in one area and then make sure.
Nancy said, hi, Ken Steve from Illinois. Glad I caught you live tonight. Welcome, Nancy.
Hi, and welcome.
Welcome, Virginia, Tracy, everybody.
So this will go in here. That should, let me just go ahead.
Gail, Charlotte, Irvina. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Oh, these ones, I have to go over a big branch to get these ones fastened together. I just want to make sure, yes. Sometimes you have to look up underneath because coincidentally you could wire nothing together. Wires could go in, oddly enough, in the exact same spot as the, you know, both of them. They're like, oh, they're both in the same spot. So pull this one down. It's making noise because we haven't secured the top ones yet. So we want to make sure we hit them all. Okay, this will go down. And then we'll see where that winds up. Let's go around that big branch and straight out the back. Let's get it up over the knot. There we go. Nice secured spot. And the final one. Let's go ahead and get this one around this branch. The bottom part anchored. And we're going to go right around this branch. So I'm going to flip it over and show you what we've done, because generally I don't ever show this. So I just want to make sure that we've got a nice, you know, everything is secure on there really, really well. That one's definitely for sure.
Linda said, love the sign. I like natural designs for wreaths.
So do I.
Hey, thank you. She said 100 stars.
Thank you so much. Okay. So let's make sure this one's all the way twisted. This one didn't twist as many times as I would have liked. And then we're going to snip the ends off, just like these. Take that one off. That one off. We're going to take and push these wires back to the inside. Flip these back in. Sometimes it needs a little help. So we want to ensure that, you know, when the customer goes to put their hand back here, we have nothing that will scratch the door, nor will affect our customer at all. So there is our deer design. So it's all set up. I know you guys are getting a weird glare. So I picked it up. I think that should reflect right now. Give me a second. There you go. Now you can see the whole sign without the glare. Okay, so we are going to add some, this is actually called Cypress Pine Spray. This is from Factory Direct Craft. So if you guys aren't really sure about where to get some really good greenery, Factory Direct Craft has some amazing greenery and the price point is really good. And the fact is you don't have to be a business owner to order from them. It's where I get my Pip Berries from, my metal bells, my metal stars. All of my Rustic stuff comes directly from them. So we're going to basically, I'm going to use 4 of these picks. We're going to break them all down, but we're going to start, our bow's going to be on this side instead of this side. So a little bit different there. I'm going to do the same thing here. So we're going to have another one right in here. We're going to have one more on the bottom, just like so. And these will feather out. This is just weird for placement. If you're ever unsure, like, what should I do? I'm not really sure that's all going to go together. Just lay all your picks down and then just kind of play with, you know, colors or what have you and decide. So I'm liking this. So let's break these down into picks we can manage. So I definitely want you to see the grapevine, but not overly, if that makes sense. So I'm going to cut these all down, and then we're going to start gluing them in.
Have a great festival, Janie. She said she'll watch the replay. She's baking for their church festival this Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Have a good weekend.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'm always pulling them down so I can see, you know, where did that pick get attached. So there's one broken down. We'll save the pine cone.
Hi, Audrey.
So I'm going to start gluing these. And I'm going to leave it probably right about here is where I'm going to start. So into my glue skillet it goes. It's just a 7-inch electric skillet. Now mine, when I bought it, was made for the glue. It was a SureBonder glue skillet, but right when those came out, then the company for some reason just stopped making them, and then nobody was able to get them. And then I'm not even sure what the name of the company is now. They came out with the exact replica but changed the brand name, and it came with a lid. So you can get them on Amazon. They're about $25. So well worth it, especially if you make a lot of grapevines or florals and you just want that ability to just dip your picks into, you know, a glue skillet and just be able to place it. So I'm just kind of loading these in where I want them to go.
It's called the Elite Gourmet.
Elite Gourmet?
Yep, it's just called a 7-inch.
Wow.
Elite Gourmet EFS-400 personal stir-fry griddle pan. It's pretty much the same exact thing.
It is. It's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. So this is the reason why I clean out. What's there? There's something really super sharp under here. Is so you can bend and maneuver your picks in whatever position you want. So I'll break this one down again. Again, this is Cypress Pine pick from Factory Direct Crafts. There goes the second one. I do have the bigger one here with the pine cone that's going to go right about here. I should try to remove because I want I want to put the pine cone where I want it to be, not where they suggest. And then this one's going to go right up the center. So these are wired all the way down through the main stem, so you can take them, bend them, twist them, whatever direction you want them to go. So I have 2 for the top, 2 for the bottom. This one's going to go right here towards the outside, pushing it up, bending this down. A what? We have a bee bag. And if you have something like this, where I have a large protruding stick and I can't really get my pick to bend down to where I want it to go, you can get a piece of what's called binding wire. So this is brown wire, and you can kind of mold that to go where it is you want it to be. Mine's kind of, I'm not sure if I want it up and over or if I want it out. Kind of like it the up and over, that look. So binding wire down through my grapevine. It's just like floral wire, but it's covered. And it's going somewhere other than where I want it to go. There we go. Here's my binding wire. Here's my pick. And I'm going to go ahead and go right back down where I want it to be. Because this isn't super thick, it bends really easily. So like when I go to push it, it just automatically just, if there's any resistance, it'll just kind of cave. There we go. Back to the outside. I'm going to pull this up, get it around where I want it to be. Under one more little branch. Okay. Yeah, because it matches the grapevine so well, it looks like a grapevine little branch.
Thank you, Carol. She said hello, Ken. I sprinkled the love.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's finish. Let us finish. Okay, we're going to have these ones kind of out there. What I should have done was, for beginners, it's always great to start with putting your bow on first. Because then you don't have to, you know, be cognizant of where that ribbon's going to be. Like I always say, it's roughly the size of your hand. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to go ahead and add my bow, and then I'm going to keep on going. Why should you add the bow when you're a beginner? Because a lot of times you don't know how far up you need to stop. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to load it in my Bodabra and place it on top. So these are the colors that I have. A really nice Christmas plaid, a little bit of the green and cream plaid, and then this emerald green with the tan stitching. So I know I have an extra piece on here because I used it from something else. So you kind of want to figure out how far do you want to see that fall. Do you kind of want to have your ribbon cascade through your picks? You know, if so, then you need to allow for plenty of play. So I'd rather have plenty than not enough. So this one is, I'm going to go 14 inches. So before we do that, dovetail. So dovetail the edges is simply bring your wired edges together. We're going to cut from the folded side down to your wired point. And I'm going to hand tie all these. So 14 inches in. Let's make our loop about 10 inches. That should make a 5-inch loop. I'm liking that. So another 10 inches. So I've got a twist. 10 inches.
One of the sign is from Jane's Front Door Decor.
And then I have a little bit left on this one.
Susan said, "Hi Cassie, have you made a wreath with a football shaped frame from Dollar Tree?"
Yes, matter of fact,
Yes,
if you go to my YouTube channel from about 2 weeks ago, you will find it. I did do one as requested. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my Bodabra just to hold everything. Dovetail my edge again.
Cassie, I love how rustic and beautiful this looks with the sign and the grapevine.
Yeah, and the only really hint of Christmas is probably the red, white, and green plaid. If you didn't want to do that, you could just go beiges and browns. Yeah, like I would introduce probably a brown and green ribbon to this mix. So the green with the tan stitching came from Joann's. Same with the Christmas plaid. The green and white plaid is from Craft Outlet. And then I'm going to go 10 inches for this. And we're going to go 9 inches for the loop, which will give us a 4.5-inch loop. So 4.5. Why did that? Because you didn't twist it. Okay. 9 inches in. Twist. 9 inches. Bring it together. Twist it. And then 10 inches. Pop the whole thing right inside the Bodabra. Dovetail the edge.
Right? Linda said this wreath could stay on your door from December 1st to February.
Yes, and that's exactly the point. Right through, where people would probably change it out for Valentine's Day. If you live in a mountain home, you can kind of keep it up almost all year if you'd like. It just depends. Like a mountain cabin home, I might leave it up all year. Not me personally, but I am going to go 8.5 inches for my tail length. And then I'm going to do 8 inches for my loop length, which is giving me 4-inch loops. Another 8. And then back out.
Someone said love the sign.
It's a super adorable sign. So we're going to keep the bow relatively simple. Those are all done. Plop that back inside. Let me look and see if I want to add any additional loops. I may.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be great for a lake home too.
What?
The sign. The wreath.
The lake home?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to thicken my bow or I want to keep it simple. So let me, looking for the right color pipe cleaner. I thought I had one down, but I don't. Looking for like a mossy green, like this. So let's pick this up. We get it all on the wreath. And then we can decide if it needs to go thicker. And the ones I've done in the past, I've done double loops on all of them. But sometimes then that can make a really big bow. So we are going to add the bow. Let's pull our tails down. Everything down. Leave the loops on the top. go ahead and add right in here. Another reason for cleaning your grapevines ahead of time is you don't have to fight to find, you know, a way to get it all in there. So we'll just make sure it's on nice and tight. So I left the tails long if I want to take them and kind of, you know, you can swivel, kind of mold them and get them to go. Right now, I'm just going to have them all go straight as soon as I can get them all down. This will help me determine if I want to go bigger or not. Feeling like that loop was just way too big, so I pulled the tail back in because 5 felt like way too big for this. Let's get the reds back on top. I'm liking it just like this. So once you have your bow on here, now you know how far in you need to fill, how far up underneath the bow you need to come. So this is why when you're starting off with grapevines, add your sign, then do your bow, and then start adding all of your picks. Okay, then move this over. And we'll break apart our other pick. It's not all going to be cypress pine, but cypress pine is going to be my base for this. I wonder why it does that. Is it because the ice maker's on, but there's no water line? There we go. All right, let's go upwards. So if you need to, go ahead and mold your cypress pick. I'm going to save the bigger bites with the bigger pine cones for something a little closer to the top. Shorty. What do you guys think so far? Just simple elegance of just some pine.
Linda, yep, we have our own well. So we're on our own water.
Okay. See how we're pretty much filling that really nice. I'm going to go up under. I'm going to go over that branch and kind of form that one around. Remember, we still have a whole another pick to go. Break this one down.
Love it.
These ones with the pine cones have a really, it's hard to get in because they have wired the pine cones to the pick. Yeah. Like these are heavily wired in. There we go. Okay. So now we'll just keep on going, adding where we need to. There's that.
Rena, yeah, the cats are doing great. They love it up here because we can keep the windows open all the time.
Yeah, before we'd have to keep everything closed because it was just so hot.
Too hot. Yeah.
Never could leave the windows open. Always trying to pull the glue back out.
Hope everybody else is doing good. Hope everybody's got some fun plans this weekend.
Absolutely.
We're gonna go discover, right? We don't know, not sure where, but
yeah, I think Saturdays are now going to start to be our discover weekends. We're going to get out and about and go check out what there is around here. Okay. So always make sure that you're looking at it from all angles. You know, pick these up if you really need to get in here. And move those around so that when you come back in now with your ribbon and refluff, you have your greenery worked all the way up through here and then down on the bottom as well. I'm going to take this one. See if we can't get the pine cone off. Kind of come up a little bit more. And before we go any further, I have some cedar. This is all leftover. So sometimes I don't use everything in a design. So I don't throw away the leftovers. Sometimes I'll just save them like now. So I have leftover pieces just to add some different texture, different color greens to a wreath. Honestly, I don't even know where it came from. So now I'm going to come in and start doing things like feathering your edges, which means when you work your way to the edge of a wreath, it should feather down to a very fine point. So down here at the bottom, you should have the smallest edges of your greenery. So that's why the cedar is perfect for that.
Ravina said this. You said the Tractor Supply was your new favorite store. Their signs are very nice. Yes, they are.
Yes. I'm like, Steve's never going to ask me to go to Tractor Supply ever again.
Nope.
Because I'm like, bye. I just leave.
I go in there for the part I need and want to get out.
And I'm like, oh, look at this and look at this. And oh my God, check this out. It's like the best store ever.
Jeannie just said, I just got a job at Hobby Lobby.
Uh-huh.
I realize now that I can't afford to work there.
Right?
A second job to support my Hobby Lobby job.
Right? There's a lot of
more than
people.
you get.
Yes. There's a lot of people, I think, that felt the same way. That like if we worked at Hobby Lobby, we would seriously, they'd just pay us out in supplies because our checks would just be spent.
Angela said, first show in your new location?
No, this one's actually, aren't we like 3 weeks in?
Yeah, we've done 3.
We only took a week off to make the move. So we haven't been gone that long.
Laura said we have a gumbo cook-off this weekend. One in town and a jambalaya cook-off in our town. Lots of delicious food around.
Yeah, so we found out that this weekend if we went north on our discovery adventure, they're doing a seafood and crab festival all weekend.
Up in Port Angeles? Is that what you said?
Port Angeles,
Yeah,
yes.
that sounds good.
So I'm just... Yeah, we haven't decided. We're trying to stay away from the fires right now that are still up here. The one that's burning in Packwood and the one that's burning in Kalama are both, I think, our biggest concerns. One is about 45 minutes away. The other is 30, I think they said 35 minutes away. Drive time. So.
Paula, good question. How does the hot glue hold up? I live in the deep south and our door faces the hot sun. I'm worried the hot glue would not hold up.
So if you understand the concept behind Gorilla Glue, is it's meant to be used for dual temperatures. So if you just have a glue gun that does not have the ability to go high or low, then you're either purchasing a low temperature glue gun or a high temperature glue gun. High temperature is great if you want everything to stay. It allows the glue to melt to a different perspective, but it also takes a lot longer for it to set up. But it's that extra time that is supposed to keep it
Sets up harder.
For extreme temperatures on the glue. Trying to see if it listed it on the bag of glue.
It's rated extremely hot, so
it's like 100 and
170, something like that.
Can you look that up? I'll have Steve look that up. It's rated to be extraordinarily high, and then same thing for the freeze temperature. It's rated, you know, to go against the freezing temperatures as well, because we worry about both. So I am adding my large pine cones. I'm going to add one to the top, one right here to the bottom. But that's why I always tell you guys, get a dual temperature glue gun, because you need that ability for both temperatures. And I know there's still a lot to be seen, so we are still adding even more greenery. I'm at the stage where glue threads are like a nightmare for me. I don't need that anymore, or that. Let's put these away so I'm not stretching them across. This way I can just, whatever strings, like I can't move my glue pot onto my cutting mat because it's at such a temperature that it'll warp this board and ruin it. So it needs, like right now, it's actually sitting on a silicone mat. So I'm going to come in again. This is a pick from Hobby Lobby. It's my favorite pick. I think it's their, it's Balsam and Pinecones. So these all just pop off. So we're going to come in again, textures to everything. The more colors. So if you notice, I'm not really doing anything snowy or icy or frosty. We're just kind of doing a neutral type of a pine. So it doesn't have like shimmer on it, doesn't have glitter on it. So this way it feels different than, hey, I just took picks and plopped picks inside there. Pick these up and move my pine in. Glue threads. It's because I do them too fast. I just flicked one to the floor. I know, I heard it too. That's why I was like, I just flicked one to the floor. Okay, I'm going to keep spinning this. Even though, I mean, it probably would have been fine with just the Cypress, it just creates a whole new level when you can add in some additional. And this is where if you have little pieces left over from other picks, save them because you can integrate those into another design like this with maybe it's not enough to do on one, but it's enough to add filler to something else. Are you still researching that, Steve?
Yeah, it says to at least store below 130, but it says it's rated for much higher than that. I'm just looking for an actual temperature.
Okay. I know there was something on their site that says the only way that you can get it to trigger the either extreme hot or the extreme cold is you had to use it in a dual temperature environment and put it on the high setting, which for those of us who use glue guns, I always caution against because that is a surefire way to get burned with your glue gun. You always want to make sure you're using your glue gun on low temperature just to keep the burn risk way down for you. Okay, let's add a couple more right in here. Did that one there. Let's tuck one in down here. I think this other one I'm going to do way over here towards the front. So I'm always turning it, always looking on the inside, always looking on the outside, making sure, I'm not just covering the top, I'm covering the sides, bringing, my greenery down, both here, making sure that it cascades so it's got good coverage, but it also has great depth. Okay. I was going to add this, but it does have some glitter on it, and I don't really want to introduce glitter. Pip Berries, nice little burgundy color. This will break up all the...
So the cat habit tractor supply has baby chicks in the spring.
It does. I know. You have to order it from their website, though. I already looked. That's the sad thing. My kids are like, you need more chickens. I'm like, no, I need to get good with the 3 I have. And then we can upgrade to more chickens. So I'm taking the medium-sized pine cones, bringing these up, getting them situated in here, because it's all about just natural. Like when I think about doing a wreath like this, it's all about what would naturally come.
Oh, I just said I had surgery, so my first Friday back with you. Gotcha, Angela. Yes, Tractor Supply is a fun place, but ours is small. Ours is pretty big.
Ours is, yeah, pretty.
Well, I hope your surgery was good, and I hope you heal well.
Absolutely. Okay.
No worries. Everyone said, did you get your pine cones out of your yard?
Not yet.
Not yet. We do have a ton of the mini pine cones and some of the bigger ones, but they're more like a bristle pine cone.
Well, the baby ones come from sequoias. So we have quite a few different variety of pines here. So we've been exploring and figuring out these actually kind of come from the baby sequoias or the large sequoias.
Paula, where can I find a silicone mat for my glue pot?
Amazon?
Silicone Alley, they're called.
Yeah.
And you can get the small.
So I'm going to come in here so we can have...
They work great too, by the way.
2 different... Because I want the medium size, like a little closer to the front, and then we'll feather out the bigger to the small as we feather these down.
She said, hi, Ken Steve, the area where you moved, is that the setting for the Twilight books? I bet it's a whole lot different than California. It is, but
it is.
We're about 3.5 hours south of Forks, where they filmed quite a bit of it.
Actually, they didn't film any of
it.
They filmed one
The restaurant
thing.
And I thought her house, wasn't it?
No. Those are all Oregon or British Columbia. So I have all these people who are like, oh my God, we have to come to your house. We want to go see the Twilight stuff. And I'm like, it was all in Oregon.
The high school was actually in Kamala, which is south of us.
Kalama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just interesting to see that, you know. That's kind of fun. This one seems really super long, so I'm going to take advantage of those and really get them down into our design. Still trying to
just jumped on. This is beautiful. Thank you, Carol.
see. And the nice thing about your glue skillet is, as you're dragging your glue threads across, you can pick them back up and then just recycle. You just throw them back in the pot.
You know what I've got to try to do for you is like the overhead glare from those signs for the lights. You just try to see if I can move them somewhere.
Cap them, maybe.
Not cap them, just move them to where they're not right directly over you, so you get the glare.
Yeah, I noticed that too. So I'm just, some of these are just a tad too long because I don't want them to be, way out there. Trying to get that in to my grapevine. So these Pip Berries are also from Factory Direct Craft. So as you can see, you don't need an awful lot on here. Just a handful of them.
Also, love your lives. You do beautiful work. I think it's a good idea. So I'm going to share with myself so she can just go watch it tomorrow.
Yes.
Good night and thanks so much. Have a wonderful night.
And that's a great thing to remember is if you have, you want to have this available to you where it's easy to find, just share it. It goes right to your Facebook page, and then when you're ready, it's already there. You already know where to go. Okay, so
Good night,
there's
Winnie.
that.
Yeah, dude, it's beautiful. I watch all the time. Just a silent viewer.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. There's a lot of people who are just silent watchers.
I just said, yeah, Kalama. I can't speak Southern.
Kalama.
Kalama is a great town.
Yes, it's super pretty. I'm trying to get this to go under my cedar.
And then said, if you guys get a chance in the spring, go to Port Angeles and take the Black Ball Ferry line to Victoria, British Columbia. So much to see.
Oh, I'm sure.
That would be fun.
We just need to get passports.
Yeah. Can you do that?
Yeah, we're so close to California. Or Canada. Welcome to Canada. So I just think that the Pip Berries add just the right touch. And these ones are wired all the way down to the edge. And that's how you can tell a good quality Pip Berry. Because if you grab some of the ones that sadly Hobby Lobby sells, they don't. They're not wired all the way down. Thank you.
It's stuck to it.
Yeah. Okay, let's add some small baby pine cones, and we can call this one done. So these are my favorite to get. Hobby Lobby sells them in a bag, and right now I know that they have them. So you can get the medium size that are like this. Well, that one's a bad example, like that. Or you can get the small ones, which I love to use at the end of some of my picks, where you just want the illusion that there is, a pine cone on the very, very end.
The Carol, they're called Pip Berries, P-I-P.
Yeah, like if I want one way down here, those are like the perfect pine cones for that. I'm going to take some medium.
Audrey said, your turn to go buy and rob.
Right? You just never know. They're traveling quite a bit.
Really, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
I know.
I want to check out our place first, though.
We have a lot to see here.
Yeah.
That we haven't seen yet. So how many pine cones you add is entirely up to you. I like varying the colors. Some are lighter, some are dark. So I try to just pick a handful of different ones. I'm going to go ahead and place one right inside my bow. Just like that. We'll put a couple little ones on and we'll call this one done. So like right on the end of my pick is how I like to place the little baby ones. What? Okay. I think we are all finished. So let's fluff our bow. Let me get rid of the glare for you guys so you don't see the glare. See, like all this glue, most people just throw away. You just toss it back in, it just remelts and you're good to go. Those go back in.
So your website is already pinned?
Yeah, I don't have this one on there yet. That's kind of shame on me for not doing that just yet. So, let's see, can we ankle that one slightly? No, it's a little too high. I'll have to hold it down here. Just like this. So this one is done. I will take some pictures, get it on the door so you can see size-wise. Finished measurement on this one, going from where the farthest of my pine comes. It's about 22 inches tall. It is about 20 inches wide. So it's a pretty nice size wreath, but like I said, it is definitely geared for people who want this up more than just beyond Christmas. They don't want to have to buy like a Christmas and a winter wreath, so this has dual purposes and that you can have them both in here. All right, everyone. Well, have an amazing weekend, and I will talk to you guys again on Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, which is 7 p.m. Central or 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'll talk to you then. Bye for now, everyone.